Joining us to discuss this is Mr. Cheta Mwala, who is a legal practitioner. Mr. Mwala, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Perhaps I should begin by asking you if you will be voting in the local government elections tomorrow.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on your show. Sadly, personally, I won't be voting in the elections tomorrow. I'm personally boycotting the elections because I think that what is happening in Rivers State is an aberration and a defecation on our constitution and on our laws. So personally, I wouldn't want to be a part and parcel of that particular charade that is going to happen tomorrow. So I'm boycotting the elections. I'm not participating, and I won't be voting. And I can also tell you for free that a lot of other persons within Rivers State also feel the same way. There will be serious voter apathy tomorrow during the elections because there has been lots of legal issues raised with respect to whether Section 2 of the Rivers State Independent Law can be suspended by, or any law can be suspended by the president, and as to whether the sole administrator or even the president has powers to appoint the district chairman, and a lot of other issues that have also risen. If the question as to whether the conduct of local government election is part of the emergency as captured in Section 305 of the Constitution. So these serious legal issues have not been addressed yet and are still there in the minds of the average Rivers people. The ex parte motion you referred to that was dismissed by the court was probably basically just to stop the elections from holding. I don't think it has not, the court has not determined the main issues within the suit as it were. And probably the court also had its reasons for dismissing that particular ex parte motion. Maybe the court wants a situation where the other parties will put on notice so they can as well make representation in the circumstance. Now, the challenge we have with everything happening in Rivers State is also the silence of the court. The court has shown some level of silence in everything happening in Rivers State, and that is where the problem is right now, and that is where my fears are, even as a legal practitioner. What do I mean by the court being silent? Now, matters have been filed in courts by the PDP governors at the Supreme Court. Up till today, we have not heard anything with respect to that matter for an issue of such national importance. Several matters have been filed at the Federal High Court in Rivers State, challenging the decision to appoint the research chairman by both the president and the sole administrator, challenging our raising up concerns as to whether they have powers to suspend different sections or aspects of our laws in Rivers State. And what the president of the Federal High Court did was to move all the matters with respect to Rivers State issues in Rivers State to Abuja. They moved everything within the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt to Abuja, and up to today, nothing has been done with respect to these matters of serious urgency and importance. And let me tell you this is also part of the reasons why every day the people are losing interest both in the courts and also in our democracy, the type of democracy we run today. As I speak to you, Rivers people are not even optimistic about anything coming out from this whole thing. Rivers people are quite tired of the whole situation because the state has not been able to move forward as it ought to move forward. And we are saddened and bedeviled by this whole state of emergency declared upon our state because it has destroyed our economy. It has seriously impoverished us. As I speak to you, for the past how many months now, 5 months now, we have not had any form of development within the Rivers State. And we don't even know what would happen in the coming days. And this whole conduct of local government elections, all we see is just a state capture that is happening in Rivers State, and nothing has been done.
If you can hear me, so you're boycotting the elections, and you say many people, there's going to be a lot of voter apathy with these elections. So I know you have the right to do this in protest, but to what end? What do you think you're boycotting or other people boycotting the election is going to achieve?
It's definitely going to show to the whole world that what is happening in Rivers State, Rivers people do not support it. Rivers people are clearly against it. And the rest of the country would also understand that the election that is actually going on in Rivers State It is not in the best interest of Rivers people, and that is why they are not participating in the elections. So a boycott may not stop the reset and what the president is doing in Rivers State from happening. They may go ahead and actually conclude with the, of course, what we have is selection. You have also seen how certain persons who were APC members at night, by the next morning, they are automatically PDP candidates in the election. And persons who were PDP members yesterday, by this morning, they are already APC candidates. That's the kind of elections we're actually seeing, where we saw a situation where the minister of the FCT selected who becomes what in each LGA and also spread them into the various political parties to contest elections. Is that an election? Is this how we should conduct elections within this country at this particular age and time? It tells you that there's really nothing to hope on. And Rivers people are saddened by this particular situation. They are tired of it. And I can tell you for free that Rivers people are not happy with what is happening. A boycott may not stop them. However, it would only let everybody understand that we are not part and parcel of this destruction of our democracy that is being carried out today by both the Minister of the FCT and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is a sad situation for Rivers State and a sad situation for our own democracy as a people.
Because, and you took the words right out of my mouth there, because a boycott, is a form of protest. But, when you're taking action, especially when it comes to electoral matters, you have to be able to look at what kind of outcome it will give you. And you're spot on. It may not change anything, but it will just register your discontent with the process. What would be an ideal situation for you? And in your view, because this is a question I've always wanted to find out from legal practitioners, were these elections necessary at this particular point in time? And then what would be an ideal situation for you and others like you who are deciding to boycott the process tomorrow?
Now let me tell you, ideally, in circumstances like this, if you look at the minds of the draftmen of Section 305, what they had in mind was to quell worrying situations where there are insecurities within a section of the country or parts of the country, as it were, that a situation will be created to quell those insecurities and to make sure that those areas are taken care of and peace is restored or normalcy is restored within that particular vicinity. Now, the drafters of Section 305 of our Constitution never at any point in time envisaged a situation where democracy would be completely halted in these areas. And how do you conduct a local government election in an area that you claim to be under siege, to be under serious security threat? How do you conduct local government elections? Does Section 305 also gives you that particular powers to go ahead or to act as a governor in the circumstance of this particular situation? You're only supposed to restore peace, which we know that we have said it time and time again that the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State was wrongly done. And we have critically condemned it at every border we have found ourselves. However, we have found ourselves in a situation today, of course, in a leadership that does not listen to the plight and the cries of the people. They have continued with it. But now, why are you conducting a local government election? Is there any emergency in the local government areas? They went ahead and appointed sole administrators across the local government. Why don't you allow the democratic structure that is coming or that you intend to restore back by next month? Why don't you allow them to conduct the elections themselves?
As I wrap up my conversation with you, Mr. Chatham, I want to be able to get you to talk about this, because it does feel like a lot of you who are very upset about the process, you're not thinking about the fact that Mr. Fubara is not saying anything about the issue. He is a bit very calm, and last time we heard from him, there was some kind of agreement, they sorted themselves out. Why are you so upset if the person who you want to be in that office is not, doesn't seem to be as upset as you are?
No. I think this is where everybody gets this wrong. Everything that is being done in Rivers State is not being done for Fubara. Please, we should understand this and get this straight. Fubara is not Rivers State. We should understand this particular thing. What we are talking about is the soul of Rivers State and what Fubara are here to meet it. They are not Rivers State. The fact that Fubara is governor today does not mean that Fubara is Rivers State. The destruction that has happened in Rivers State today, if Fubara comes, he's not going to clear it away. That is our sad reality. So we are not fighting for Fubara at all. We are only fighting for the soul of Rivers State and demanding that what is right for our state be done. Whether the governor has had an agreement with the FCT minister to carry out whatever they are doing currently today. What we are saying is that it is not of our own concern right now, but what we are saying is that what is happening in Rivers State today is wrong, is an aberration, and is a defecation on our constitution. That's exactly what we are saying. So the interest is not the interest of Kubara. I am not here today pushing the interest of Kubara. Of course, I'm less concerned as to whether he is governor or whether there is a house of assembly. But what we are saying is that restore back the democratic system back to Rivers State. That's what we're saying. That democracy should be seen to be done in Rivers State and not the protection of an individual interest, whether it is the interest of the FCT minister or the interest of the governor.
And it's a pretty...
the individual interest.
Mr. Nwala,
we're interested in the interest, what is best in the interest of Rivers people.
It's a pretty straightforward request that you have made. Do you think that perhaps post this election that we might see cases in court challenging the validity of these elections?
There are already cases in court as I speak to you right now. There are pre-election matters, and certainly there will be post-election matters as it were. So I can tell you for free that the court should be expecting more matters being filed within it. But the problem is this: what confidence do we even have in our courts today? Even as a legal practitioner, I do not have that particular confidence even in our courts today as to them doing justice. Looking at how the courts have actually behaved most recently in dealing with issues that affect Rivers State. And this is the major problem we have. This is the sadness we have as a people, that the court needs to step up. The court needs to take back its position in the scheme of things and in our society to restore back sanity. Because we are gradually losing sanity in this country, where anybody, because you have power, you behave anyhow you like, and you get away with it. So the court, which is supposed to be the last hope of the common man, needs to step up and take up that particular responsibility. But in recent times, we have not seen the court take up that particular responsibility.
All right, Mr. Nwala, we certainly will keep tabs to see how developments progress tomorrow at the local government elections. You know, you have said there will be voter apathy. We'll wait to see, you know, if your prediction turns out to be true. But we have to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Mr. Chetam Nwala is a legal practitioner and has been speaking to us on the elections, on the forthcoming local government elections happening tomorrow in Rivers State.